Dr. Anthony Fauci denied the National Institute of Health provided any funding for gain-of-function research, saying, quote, that categorically was not done, close quote. Today, this very day, the NIH issued a statement contradicting that testimony, which suggests that Dr. Fauci may have committed perjury. This is a criminal offense, and I'm left to wonder if you intend to look into that and send a communication such as a letter or a memo similar to the October 4th memo that you issued regarding parents going to school board meetings to investigate Dr. Fauci's potential perjury.
Again, I'll refer to the long-standing departmental norm that we don't comment about investigations pending or unpending.
Hey guys, so as you can see in this clip, the congressperson is asking a cabinet member of the current administration whether or not they're investigating possible perjury charges against Dr. Fauci for his denial of gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, studying the bat coronaviruses. Okay, and I'm wondering if we would have ever had this information had there not been outraged by some, particular status of parents who were outraged, probably felt threatened and horrified that they received a letter or memorandum from the administration, probably preventing them from attending school board meetings. Now, I'm going to read this article to you. NIH admits U.S.-funded gain-of-function in Wuhan despite Fauci's denials. You can see the date there. And this gets very interesting, guys. So the National Institute of Health has stunningly admitted to funding gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at China's Wuhan lab, despite Dr. Anthony Fauci repeatedly insisting to Congress that no such thing happened. A top NIH official blamed EcoHealth Alliance, the New York City-based nonprofit that has funneled U.S. funds to the Wuhan lab, for not being transparent about the work it was doing. Tabak wrote in a letter that EcoHealth's limited experiment tested whether spike proteins from naturally occurring bat coronaviruses circulating in China were capable of binding to the human ACE2 receptor in a mouse model. The lab mice infected with the modified virus became sicker than those that were given the unmodified virus, according to Tabak. Gain-of-function research refers to viruses being taken from animals before they are genetically altered in a lab to make them more transmissible to humans. So, like I said, I wonder if we would have ever heard of this if we were not digging up this information. And it seems like in our own community, guys, that everything that is about other people that is least important, I should say, so much less to do with our lives. This is what we're searching for. Anyway, the admission from the NIH official directly contradicts Fauci's testimony to Congress in May and July where he denied the funding. Okay, this is the actual document. Now, like I was saying, it is, it is plastered all over, all of these things that, it's really like more entertainment news. But some of us sometimes becomes, so consumed with this that we're not even paying attention to things like this. And this is just like the official document and the findings talking about the study and the funding. And like I said, it is it's pretty, disgusting that if you watch that whole video, watch more of the clip or that whole line of, his questioning, and you'll get the context. And he actually says, oh, because my point is, when he's not answering a question the way he would like, he's like, because really my point is, have you done any of this the way you have sent this memorandum to these parents about attending school board meetings? And let's be honest, I don't know the full nature. He brings up something about Kamala Harris, I guess, maybe someone's running for some sort of office and maybe she's endorsed him and they've asked for donations. And he also made that example and said, well, have you looked into that? And then, he comes right back to the way you have put out this memo about parents attending school board meetings, and basically saying that he's being aggressive or he's threatening them. And I just, if you ever wonder how certain issues end up right on the floor, right? Probably because it affects the 1%. But let's get back to this reading. Fauci has repeatedly clashed with Republican senators, including Rand Paul, who accused him of lying about the gain of function research. Rand said, "I told you so." Tabak, who did not use the term of gain function in his letter but alluded to it, said EcoHealth, which is run by a British scientist, failed to comply with the terms of the grant, which required it to report immediately a 1 log increase in growth. And they have been notified they have 5 days from today to submit any and all unpublished data. Now this gets, it might sound a little, it's like dragging, but you get where I'm going with this. And by now, a lot of you are probably very interested, but I want you to just listen to the rest of this. According to Tabak, the NIH had reviewed the EcoHealth research plan in advance of approving the grant, but claims it wasn't subjected to the additional review at the time, as it didn't fit the definition of research involving enhanced pathogens of pandemic potential because the bat coronaviruses had not been shown to infect humans. So you see how they have a way to cover their asses, I know, you're not really supposed to curse on here, but they had a way to say, oh, well, we didn't have to report this, right? And that's always built into any type of system or, So Tabak said if they had alerted the NIH of the growth, it would have prompted a review to determine the research plan should have been reevaluated. He insisted that bat coronaviruses studied under the NIH grant could not have become COVID-19 because the sequences of the virus are genetically very distant. So do you see where they're going? They're actually saying that this couldn't be responsible for that. Fauci was accused of lying about gain of function research after documents obtained by the Intercept detailed grants given to EcoHealth Alliance for Bat Coronaviruses. The grant proposal detailed in a trove of documents was for a project titled Understanding the Risk of Bat Coronavirus Emergence, which involved screening thousands of bat samples as well as people who worked with bats. The grant was awarded for a 5-year period between 2014 and 2019, which I told you. And look at this, very interesting. It was suspended by the Trump administration. There were acknowledged risks, saying field work involves the highest risk of exposure to SARS or other COVs while working in caves with high bat density overhead and the potential for fecal dust to be inhaled. Let me see if I have this straight. Not the source of COVID-19, not required to be reported on, although lied about by Dr. Fauci, research and awarded for the grant between 2014 and 2019 prior to COVID. The funding was renewed in 2019 and suspended by Trump after the pandemic. What do you think? A cover-up?